Here is a conspiracy theory, a crazy conspiracy theory that might be true. It's about the Kennedy assassination in 1963. So here goes. Jackie Kennedy, Kennedy's wife, knew there was going to be a plot to kill him in Dallas that day and was part of the plot, and she may even have fired the final shot through his head, the shot that killed him. If you think that's crazy, bear with me. The evidence comes from the Zapruder film, the most famous home movie in history. Be warned, if you haven't seen this before, it's really shocking. If we run it again in slow motion, we will see some very strange behaviour from Jackie Kennedy. Okay, here we see the film again in slow motion, and this time we will watch it in more detail. So far he's okay as he goes behind the road sign. When he emerges from the road sign, he's obviously been hit in the throat, and Jackie spots this. She reaches out to him, totally unfazed by the whole thing, as if she was expecting it to happen. Now she's looking at Connolly, not her husband. Always Connolly. She's merely holding her husband in place, as if she was expecting Connolly to do something. Again, still looking at Connolly, not her husband. Still looking at Connolly. But now Connolly's been hit, so he's out of action, and she realises she has to do this herself. So now she pays attention to her husband. She's right up next to him, not worried about another sniper firing. She's talking to him. I don't know what they're talking about, and look at her elbow, look at her right elbow. Still talking to him. And here we go, the final headshot, which she could have fired. Again, look at this, look at the debris firing up in the air, consistent with a shot from underneath or behind. And here, is she dropping something behind his back? Maybe not, but... And now she's gone. She's out of there. The key frame in the Zapruder film is frame 313, which shows the infamous headshot, especially this part here, with debris flying up in the air, consistent with a shot being fired from underneath. The film was developed on the day of the assassination at the Kodak laboratories in Dallas, but it is now fairly clear that the film we've all seen is not the original film. For example, dozens of witnesses say they saw the back of Kennedy's head blasted out the way. This is not visible on the film we've all seen. These are some of the men who saw the film that weekend, the first people ever to see the Zapruder film. There was Abraham Zapruder himself, his business partner, and various staff members at the Kodak laboratory. This is a man called Dino Brugione who saw the film on the Sunday morning. He was commissioned by the CIA to make some stills from the Zapruder film. In 2013, he was interviewed by Douglas Horne of the Assassinations Records Review Board.
Dino Brugione, in the film that he studied on November 23rd, saw a very different head explosion than we see today in the film in the National Archives. Dino Brugione saw a much larger head explosion that went 3 or 4 feet into the air above President Kennedy's head.
I remember the scatter was high.
Yeah.
You know, say 3 or 4 feet from his head.
Uh-huh. Up in the air?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I say the one that I saw, man, his head, it was way high off of his head.
Yeah. The debris.
And I can't imagine that there would only be one frame.
Right.
What I saw was more than what you had there.
That last shot, you see his head come off. And I mean, you could see it so clear. I've seen all these replicas and all the copies, nothing like that first one.
The original film shows much more debris firing up in the air, which suggests some kind of shot rather than simply some incidental scattering of debris. If we look again at the modern film, it definitely looks like some kind of missile or projectile is being fired through his head, especially when we see it in slow motion. The only person in a position to do this was Jackie Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy's behaviour in the Zapruder film is bizarre. She's totally unfazed by the shooting of her husband. She's utterly calm and in control, not at all like someone who's under fire from a sniper. She barely looks at her husband when she sees he's been hit. It's as if she was expecting it. She spends most of her time looking at Connolly, while at the same time presenting her husband to him, as if she was expecting Connolly to do something. Only when she sees that Connolly has been hit does she pay attention to JFK. Why doesn't she crouch down for her own safety? Why is she so close to JFK when she surely knows another shot can be fired any second? Does she fire the fatal shot? This explains the debris flying into the air above his head. As soon as the headshot is fired, the very instant that it's fired, she gets out of there. No hesitation. Does she drop something behind JFK's back before she leaves? Utterly bizarre. So there you have it. Have I proved that Jackie Kennedy was part of a conspiracy? Maybe. Have I proved that she fired the final headshot? Probably not. But we need to look at the Zapruder film in a completely different way. Her behaviour that day is utterly bizarre, and it must be explained. Thanks for watching.